Ugh, these videos are getting longer and longer. Hey Pinkie, say, are you doing the carbon video now? I'm about to. I just need to do some shopping first. Gotta buy a tan trench coat that I've always wanted to try out. Yeah, about that. There's been a change of plans. I've decided that there's no need to force you to cosplay as the game's characters for this last one. So, wear whatever you want this time. You've earned it. Fuck, I should have waited. We've always wanted to wear these. Most Wanted was the bomb, in a good way, with the main version selling over 18 million copies overall and getting 80+ all the way. It's no surprise that this is one of, if not the best Need for Speed title ever. And yeah, I really love the game, despite a few upsetting downsides like the piss filter and earlier. Now, how do you follow that juggernaut of a masterpiece up? Well, you can't. As I said before, Most Wanted was the peak of the franchise, and unfortunately, it started slowly going downhill from there, with Need for Speed Carbon being the beginning of it all. Italian food joke goes here. Released in 2006 in a rushed manner, this version of the game was released for PC, and all the home consoles still selling at the time, including the GameCube, original Xbox, as well as the Wii, and the PS3. And much like Most Wanted, it came in two versions. The collector's edition is sought after, as you can unlock two exclusive cars that are buyable this time. One of them is very OP as fuck. Okay, I should say was, because thanks to the extra options mod, you can force the regular game to have the collector stuff. That'll surely bring down prices. I remember getting the PS2 version on Christmas that year as a kid. Even if it has some cut down content due to unfair limitations, as well as being abruptly short, I still enjoyed it. At least it wasn't a GameCube port. What a mess. And here's something other versions didn't get, a second starter girl. I'm more into the trench coat lady though. I remember the first Carbon review on this channel. It was back in my vampire era when I decided to visit Sophie for some reason. Ah shit, was that the one where I kissed her out of spite? No, it's a Spider-Free review. Maybe I should re-review the original trilogy as well. Also, Helltaker cosplay, which we are doing it here as well. Even if it doesn't make sense now, and the game isn't as relevant as back then, but still. Hey, shouldn't you be excited for this? I quit drinking and smoking ages ago. Sophie called it memorable yet just meh, but what do I think 6 years later? Well, its 20th anniversary is in 5 months time, but it's still the best time to revisit this odd thing. Let's bounce and get hyped, boys. We're feeling the rush of the hurricane that many love it or hate it, and see if I think Carbon is still good as gold. We're riding on a white horse. Sup? Start it up, allow the AHD bit, the others is now deaf once again, and Emmanuel Vorgier behind the blue screen telling you not to drive like the protag in Own the City, even for kindness reasons. Spoilers?
The moves that you and your crew do in the game are meant to stay in the game. In the real world, drive safe, obey the laws of the road, and always wear your seatbelt.
Here's the intro where this guy, named Kenji, summarizes the premise of the game to you. You're back in town, the place is controlled by a bunch of turfs, and you have to take them over and sit on them on the canyons.
But you'd never survive.
Oh, you don't know me. Unlike in Underground 1 and Most Wanted, most of the intro uses pre-rendered in-engine footage of the Lancer and a Challenger battling out on a canyon road, only for one of them to fall to their death. Ooh, how scary! Even with in-game footage, it still sells the game well. It's way better than Underground 2, really. Jeez, even the title screen is very grim. If you're expecting licensed tracks to play afterwards, it does not. I really hope you like original music because this game is chock full of it. I guess we're really back in the 90s. It's no Romulus free though. Anyways, we start career off and we learn that this is a direct follow-up to Most Wanted as we see the driver with the M3 GTR from there cruising down a canyon. Then we see a flashback of a race where said driver was racing against these three drivers while driving a Supra from a friend.
Felt disappointed.
Ow! I really wish I was racing Darius instead of watching it. Man, why couldn't they allow me to? Do they also think the prologue in Most Wanted went on for too long? At least he would not be driving the Beamer here. Unfortunately, the race was a bust, as all but the super driver get their cars disabled by electrical shocks, apparently, and the cops show up. This woman right here gives the winner the red bag, only for him to find out that it wasn't full of money. But at least Darius lets the driver keep his Supra.
Look, between the heat and the cruise, you need to walk away. Take my car. Go, get out of here.
Now, we gotta talk about the timeline of this quadrilogy. I know, it's a waste of everyone's time, but I felt like doing so. For most of my life, I've always thought of this timeline as this. You start off in Underground as this newbie Olympic City, then when you got big there and get almost murdered by Caleb, you move to Bayview to start again and defeat him. Afterwards, you went to Palmont City to do the race from the flashback, then escape and somehow get the M3. You had to Rockport to make a name for yourself there, only to get your car sabotaged by Razor, and so you had to get to the top of the blacklist to recover it, and then you head back to Palmont to make amends or something of the sort. Then you went legit for Pro Street. There's my man, Ryan Cooper. And after that, you joined the cops before the events of Undercover. This is a fear that most fans subscribe to, but after reading some random comment in a video related to the games, I've proposed a different theory. The flashback race was the first event of the timeline. Afterwards, you escape from the cops, head to Olympic City, and sell the Supra there. Either that or give it back to Darius after the situation got less insane, or just hit the car. Then you start your career proper in Underground 1, make moves in Bayview, and receive the M3 from your sponsors. You made it your own, head to Rockport to do the plot of Most Wanted, and then head back to Palmont. I think it makes much more sense, don't you think? At least it gives a bit of a reason as to why you had the M3 in Most Wanted in the first place. Now, how does that factor in Pro Street and Undercover? Well, as the latter established, Ryan Cooper is not the undercover cop you're playing as, so let's just assume that these two are separate from the quadrilogy timeline. If anything, I assume Undercover takes place before Ryan went legit in Pro Street. But wait, what if the undercover cop in Undercover is actually the protag in the quadrilogy? Can we go back to Carbon now? Shit, did I say he, him in relation to the protag? I meant I, me. Me. We're gonna eat you alive. Back to present day, I get a nasty surprise from an old friend.
Hey, guess who's back?
Great, now I have to escape this jerk and fuck! Fantastic, I turn into a $13 piece of scrap. Way to go, Gomer.
Sit down! How you been?
Having a terrible time right now! Cross, now a bounty hunter after Most Wanted, is about to arrest me, only for another old face to show up. Darius? Yeah, just Darius. He really doesn't want to call him Cross, doesn't he?
I don't remember asking for your help, Croc.
It's Cross.
Mr. Crawl!
It's Cross.
Chris? This isn't funny!
What makes you think you can bounty hunt in Silverton without my approval?
This guy's from out of town.
What's his bounty?
Over 10 million?
150K.
Bullshit! Darius lets Cross go without arresting me, thanks I guess. However, someone else also arrives at the scene, and is not me this time. Though the actress playing her did star in a sci-fi channel movie called Cerberus. Here's Nikki, not to be confused with the one in Underground 2, played by Canadian actress Emmanuelle Vaugier. Unlike the ones playing the protagonists in the previous 3 games, Emma is more prominent, showing up in tons of movies and TV shows of varying quality in varying roles, like One Tree Hill and CSI New York, oh shit. And House of the Dead 2 and Far Cry. The movies. Oh shit. Hey, she even showed up as a reporter in an episode of Viper, Season 4, when James McCaffrey returned to the show. Yeah, that's Max Payne over there. What are you talking about? It looks nothing like Sam Lake. Anyways, where were we? Oh yeah, Painkiller J not happy with the protag returning.
How dare you show your face here!
Whoa, hey,
Go, mate.
Control yourself.
But I can't get out just yet. He wants me to protect his Silverton territory from other rival crews by taking over theirs. Great, so now I'm playing his puppet. Yeah, sure, I'll help you out. You're my friend and all, I think.
Nikki, what do you say you show your old friend the ropes?
You gotta be joking, right?
You got a better idea? Then let's get him started, right away.
I'm sure your relationship is very friendly and not at all toxic.
Don't disappoint. Not again.
Nikki takes me to a place where we're introduced to the lovable chubby fuck named Neville, played by Chris Gautier, who sadly, after the first review, isn't with us anymore. But Neville? Ah, he'll live. In fact, he'll live forever, digitally immortalized.
Darius made all these cars available to you. Pick one, whichever one you want.
Hey, if there's 3, do I get one? I mean, I don't care which one, although I am partial to the one with the sweet rims.
Why don't you just make sure the tanks are filled?
That's great. I'm the monkey!
Right, now that my Rockport excursion was all for nothing, I have to pick a new starter car, corresponding to each of the 3 types. Muscles, which have great acceleration but shit at handling, tuners, which are good at cornering but lacking acceleration, and exotics, which balance the 2, but prioritize top speed performance. I'm just gonna follow Pandemonica's example and pick a tuner, although I wish I could pick more than 3 cars. I like all 3, but I'd rather have a cup of coffee than another glass of chocolate milk this time. There we go. And hey, at least I can try them out before I take one of them.
Now, come on, I got no time for this.
Nikki's good.
Ah! What in the LA Noir am I looking at? I don't remember seeing that in the PS2 version.
Now, come on, I got no time for this.
Nikki's good. Just listen to her. And I'll stick around and I'll help out. Make sure she's not too hard on you.
Okay, come on, let's just get this over with.
Anyways, here's a tutorial on the new feature this game has, crew abilities. And we get to see more of Neville's face as Nikki teaches me the ropes. I'll talk about that old crap later, so let's just skip to the chase. Literally.
Dispatch, possible code 6 just flew by me. Moving out to see if I can ID him.
Look out, cops!
Watch this.
What's your coffee grinder, baby?
I love him. Anyways, yeah, better skip the cop switch since I'm at each one, should be easy. And it was. Head to the save files and more of his face again. Now to create my crew, which is just selecting and coloring a logo and writing a name. I'm just gonna wing it, made the car as such, and there we go. By the way, I'm just gonna go full Neville for this entire playthrough. Gotta pay respects to the man himself after all. Alright, let's get this done. And we start by looking at another piss sample. Why is it blue? It may be night again, but don't expect a ton of color like in the Underground games. The color of the day, folks, is blue. Dabba-dee-dabba-die. That's not how the lyrics go. They actually do. While I despise the piss filter in Most Wanted, if it's there for a reason, I don't have as much disdain for Carbon's blue filter as that. I actually think it's good. It's not as distracting, and given the night setting, it fits really well. The GBA version is still more colorful though, but at least you can disable the motion blur in the options menu again, thanks! Color filler aside, what season are you in now? Spring? Summer? Almost everyone's wearing some kind of coat or jacket, so it could be the former. Regardless, it looks nice. The scenery is immaculate, though I did witness some pop-up in my playthrough. Also, not very noticeable, but the signs are floating. Sorry not sorry. At least the cars still look great, even the Golf R32, which at least has the headlight housings fully modeled this time. Wish they fixed the Jaguar XK's exhaust though. What the hell? I like that the city isn't completely chock full of actual ads. I mean, there still are, but they're not as distracting as in Underground 2. Holy shit, that game. But they're still distracting from ads on car-related companies like AutoZone and one of their brands Duralast, Castrol, K&N, Cooper Tires, and Mazda. They even have their own dealership you can't visit normally. To random shit like T-Mobile, Progressive, and, if I can be a little political for this video, Barack Obama's presidential campaigns for a while. I wonder what he's up to these days. Oh, wishing for the Republican Party to be more loyal, whatever last time that was. Man, this guy really wants the Democrats to lose harder, huh? Alright, enough depressing politics. How about some fake hats over here? Kinda Bright Ultra. Guarantee you will make your teeth white enough. Go Unicorns! Got it and Buzz. Oh, those poor saps didn't know. I thought it was a Penn and Teller parody at first, but then I noticed a tiger and I immediately went Siegfried and Roy. Why was that a thing? The Jim Goose Experience. This guy will forever remind me of Seth Meyers. I love this billboard, it just says Experience. Much like Most Wanted, there is no audience at the race start, but at least the red smoke is replaced by green pyro, still less ridiculous than Erica Kirk's. And hey, Starter Girl! It's always this late in the PC and PS360 versions though, at least the other versions had another one. The HUD is now more stylish I think, lots of blues here, and out of all the four, this is my favorite. It's streamlined to perfection, even if it likes to shake. Yeah, the HUD can shake now, and it's also a shame I can't put custom gauges now, but other than that, I still love it. The menus follow the same ethos too, no longer having to rely on menus upon menus when you're customizing, just left and right to select what part, and up and down to pick what you like. I really love it so much, I really wish more NFS games followed the same philosophy as this. I'm tired of this shit from 2015, man! For cutscenes, you still have the green screen live action fest like in Most Wanted, but now you have in-game cutscenes with actual human models? Or at least from the waist up and in their cars. Still, for 2006, it's really remarkable how well animated these movements are. Very realistic, way before LA Noire dazzled us with the same thing. Though I think Cover both did the mocap better and worse. The combination of realistic head and face movement and, for some reason, low quality textures in the PC version gives off this creepy look and feel. Though even the PS360 versions didn't fare better. They couldn't save Angie's 3D face here. Seriously, what happened to her? The actress in real life looked fine. Or maybe that's just the editing making her look better. I mean, even the live action cutscenes still have that blurry look, so it could be the case, whatever it is.
Go back where you came from.
The Uncanny Valley, that is. Glad Nikki was live action only. I'd hate to see how they'd butcher her. I really love the crew boss and your teammate videos, which consists of a lot of close-ups and spins. Hilarious. Yes. Audio is very similar to Most Wanted, almost identical style production. Even the engine noises are the same, and I still love it. And hate the Mazdas too. The menu sounds are different though, at least there's that, even if it's just noise at this point. Though the confirmed byte sounds oddly familiar. Oh. Voice acting is pretty great too, while not exactly as much as Most Wanted, it's still way more memorable than Underground 2. Though considering that this is supposed to be a follow-up to Most Wanted, it's a shame the only one returning is Dean McKenzie, reprising the role of Cross. And he wasn't given much to do. At least we got this.
Sit down!
Always a treat. Emmanuelle Forgier did well as Nikki, even if to me, she looks like Richard Hammond if he had his eyebrows done. You may have recognized her, but did you know that this game stars Elias Toufexis as well? Pre-Deus Ex Human Revolution even. Look how young he looked. And hey, a Japanese-American singer Melody, sporting an obvious wig I assume. Hey, is that Lieutenant Hello? Who? Oh, it's some guy from Battlestar Galactica, don't worry about it. Weirdly enough, with the case of your teammates, which did get their live-action FMVs, most of them are voiced by different actors during races. Thought that was Chris helping you.
Got him! See you later, man!
Nope, that was Brian Scalaro playing Neville there. Sorry. Yumi here?
Left, watch your side.
Hi, Mei Ling. Did you expect Elias to voice Sal here? Think again.
That part right there, left, see it? Hey, come on!
Hi, Major Ocelot. The only mates that are voiced by the respective live-action actors are Nikki and Colin, played by Steve Lawler. But I know.
It hasn't waited forever for a run like this.
I just want to race. That's all I ever wanted.
Nice, you hit at least 250 on that one.
I guess the others had busier schedules than these two, but even then, they did well, even if Sal sounds less of a shy neurotic guy in races than in this cutscene.
I know all the back streets. I grew up in these alleys. I can customize anything.
Oh, beautiful! Just beautiful!
The soundtrack is another one, at least compared to Most Wanted. Most of what you hear now is original music, in the menus, during most races, and, well, pursuits. And in the case of the last two, they're interactive. For the racers, they're actually great, even if the playlist is very short on the city side, 3 tracks. Still, I love to listen to them, and how interactive they sound. If an opponent's in first place, the music changes depending on this type of car.
Get it, dude, come on, make a move!
And if you're close to the finish, the music ramps up so nicely.
You're in the lead, man, we're winning! Right ahead, just right up ahead!
Though but that always doesn't work. If I win the race and that part never plays at that point, well, I'll have to hear right after the finished fanfare. A bit annoying.
Ah, okay, no biggie, man. Best 2 out of 3, right?
At least the cannons have their own songs, if rather glitchy in the canyon duels. They all sound harsh, with distorted drums, scary chords, and some flute. This kind of shit should be in Samurai Warriors instead of some electronic shit. For the menus, they're way less interactive, but they change depending on which card is on display. If it's an exotic, it plays Induction Kit, a hip-hop inspired electronic number full of dubstep-ish beats, if you can call it that. If it's a muscle car, it plays Burnout, the obligatory yet smooth rock track. And if it's a touring car, it plays a silly named Belt, which is my favorite of the bunch. Remixes of them playing one of the race songs when an opponent's car is in first place. As for the licensed soundtrack, it's a big shame that it doesn't play as often as before, only during free roaming, checkpoint races, and a test ride before picking a starter. The stuff it has in offer ain't bad, but unless you turn this option off, you only listen to a chunk of it if you drive a specific class. If you drive a tuner, you listen to electronica. If you're a musclehead, you listen to rock and metal. And if you're a crypto bro likes Lamborghinis a lot, they still like Lambos, right? I hope you like black people rapping. Let's list some highlights, starting with the techno stuff. And shit, there's Gary Newman in here. Why does the game credit the song to him and not his old band Tubeway Army is beyond me. Old band? They changed their name to the front bands after replicas. It's the same. Is it really these days though? I should point out that there's a mod that lets you listen to the 8 tracks during races, but something you'll notice is that half the songs in the soundtrack aren't well suited for racing. Some are too slow, others not loud enough, or are a combination of both. They certainly fit the free roaming aspect, that's for sure. And now I understand why the races play original music instead. It's like if Underground 2 only had In My Head and a few hard rock songs. Still, can't go wrong with Ladytron, which they have 2 of them here. One of them is Fun in Built Up Areas, which does sound good for racing, even if the lyrics are in Bulgarian. Ooh, Goldfrapp with a remix of Ride a White Horse. Unfortunately, it's shortened by half. Even worse, they removed the chorus. Why would you remove the chorus? At least it's not the other way around. Why was this a pop radio darling? There's Teamworks by the presets. It showed up in Driver San Francisco later on, but every time I hear it, it will always remind me of Neville. Always. There's Vitalik with a text-to-speech heavy song, which was the style at the time. That reminds me of something. Dario? Meet Jerry. He also likes to drive so goddamn fast. There's a Junkie XL remix of a Yonderby song, instrumental here. Oh shit, considering how Salvador's one good reason was also just the instrumental in Most Wanted, I sure hope this isn't about suicide as well.
When everybody was seriously drumless, dissatisfied with something they can change.
Oh, now I get it. The singing here sucks! Yeah, there's a few songs that have vocals, but are instrumental only in the game, and judging by that one song I just listened to, I hope the singing on it is as bad as that. Ladytron Sugar has a good sound, but the vocals are almost always just, if I give you sugar, would you give me something elusive and temporary? Extract's Hot Drivers in its original mix has a whole lot of rapping, which got completely removed for the game. I really love the beat, but where the yapping at? Weirdly, the GBA version of Own the City plays a sample with the rapping. It's too bad it's the only song you hear in the menus. And Girl Fight Patagara suffered as well, because the rapping was all in Japanese. Don't worry, Own the City on the PSP reinstated that. Taiga's remix of Washing Up also has no lyrics, but it's not the fault of the game. Blame Taiga for that. Really, if it didn't, it wouldn't sound as boppy. The rock selection is a lot better actually. There's Joker in The Thief. No, not Bartender in The Thief. That's a completely different song. There's Hurricane by Chaos. Chaos? That one band Josh Holm was a guitarist for before founding Queens of the Stone Age. Speaking of him, there's Eagles of Death Mellow with Don't Speak. Awesome as ever. Oh hey, the Bronx are back. You suck ass, you suck major ass, I hate you so much. Jeez, no need to shout. I also noticed that some songs have intros set up by the dev team when they originally didn't. My guy, stop! Any fans of Juice here? Oh, that can't be right. How did you manage to multiply? Though I really wish it had some Static X or Cell Whaler, or even Conquest Go with the flow if it wants something more fitting. I fucking love that shit. And then there's the rap selection, which is very British, governor. Fuck, she's white! Don't let her say the N-word! You might expect me to go all Britain hating on this, but don't worry. I only reserve my hatred towards the monarchy, the fascists, and the current Labour Party over there. I might repeat myself though. The selection here is pretty great, from the likes of Dynamite MC, Extract, and of course, Sway, singing about sucker MCs, yo.
And now I'm making peas and I'm pleasing my people. Not even a Jamiroquai hat could fit my ego. Enough of these rappers ain't real, they're just rapping hype. Why you shouting all the time? Don't you have a mind?
But hey, if you're not into that, I'd call you a tasteless bitch, but there's Grandmaster Flash and Pharrell Williams to entertain you. This is pretty happy after all. I fucking hate that. And Tikara is here too, but you already saw me dancing to it. But this is the first Speed we're talking about, and they're usually rated up to Peggy 12, so expect a whole lot of fucking censorship. I already mentioned a few songs that are entirely instrumental, like Hot Drivers. Weird, because the lyrics for it are way less obscene than Shapeshifter, and that one retain most of the rapping in Most Wanted. But as for the ones that do still have their lyrics, it's just the usual muting of and copy-pasting parts to cover the bad words, like swearing and drinking references like in Most Wanted.
Hype boys, everyone's a killer. That's not sensible, and I can sense the bull. That's why these rappers couldn't see me coming if they were with spectacle.
But there is still a few dubious decisions.
I'm your fabulous.
A song that's most likely about sex, and they took out Weapon? But the worst offender has to be Show You How to Hustle. It's so butchered and as a consequence so cut down, showing to 2 minutes 40 out of 4:13, it makes me yearn for an instrumental version instead. You might as well replace it with something else at this point, it's a lost cause. Yeah, I can't deal with this. If you're not squeamish about the swearing, get the uncensored music mod. A bit rough, but highly recommended. Still, I quite like it overall. It's way better than Unbound. With the music turned off. Ha! Right, now to actually start conquering territory. I'm not gonna do a tier list for the crew bosses because, let's face it, they're just the same anyway. 2-lap circuit and a cat-and-mouse race by the canyons. But I'm still gonna speak about them as I go through them, and since I picked a Tuna as my first car, I'll be taking over downtown Palmont first. A Japanese American whose theme is by a British band that's apparently in Bulgarian. Rybetasz.
I heard you were back in town. Now I want to hear you're gone.
Damn, these people really don't like me after that race. Here's gameplay. I'd say it's identical to Most Wanted, but not exactly. Black Box, their infinite wisdom, decided to overhaul the driving for this game, where depending on the kind of car you're using, beating the game with it can either be a relaxing dream or a complete nightmare. And I don't know about you, but nowadays I tend to gravitate towards the tuners in my replays, and it's for one good reason. The handling. You wanna talk grip kings? Look no further. These are the grippiest motherfuckers around. They hug the road so well, they almost feel like you're in rails. And you want that when racing with others. Even the front wheel drive ones don't go too wide. Well, just a Mazda 3. What the hell is going on with the Eclipse? Maybe I broke the game after installing mods. The camera in the cutscenes are shaking more than usual, as if there's an earthquake going on in the city. But this thing goes slow, keeps shaking, and understeers so bad. Fuck me. But yeah, this Mazda handles well for an FF car. Plus, they're the best drifters as well, as they're smoother than even the tail-happy muscles. In other words, they drive like the cars in Most Wanted, and that's what's important. Unfortunately, they're no elite for Most Wanted, they still understeer, but not to frustrating levels. Now compare those to the muscle cars. Yeah, they're quicker off the line, which can be used to their advantage, especially if you want to get the canyon races over with already. However, like I said, the trade-off is that they're very tail-happy. They oversteer so much, they feel like they should be useful for drift events. And when most trucks are corner-heavy, you're gonna drift a lot. Few cars like the old Chevy GT500 are impossible to drive, even fully upgraded and with tires set to the grip. I may have grievances against the ExOpts, but at least they handle better than this thing. Thankfully, the Corvette and the Viper are the best muscles around. Shame I have to wait till I reach Silverton though. The ExOpts, on the other hand, are simply the worst. They may be the fastest, but that doesn't mean they're good. It bears repeating from that first review. No matter how you tune these things, they will always understeer like hell. You will go so wide you think you're driving a front-wheel drive car. None of them are, and yet I still eat shit. They fucked up the Elise! Why would you fuck up the Elise? Why? Man, I'm glad I didn't pick the Brera as my starter when I first played it as a kid. Fucking Stellantis. I know this was way before that, but still. So yeah, you might like muscles or exotics more. Do those in Delorean even exist? But to me, I will always stick to and always recommend JDM to you if it's your first time playing this. As well as Renault and Volkswagen, you two can as well. Yeah, I pronounce it like the Germans do, not Volkswagen. Then maybe you should pronounce Renault like the French more often too. Nah, at least Nitrous and Speedbreaker work the same as before. They would never fucked up, would they? Even in Undercover with the whole zone bar crap, it's still the same old goodness. And hey, you can drive with a full manual gearbox now, manual clutch included. I don't know why you'd want that in an arcade game, but it's there. As for the opponents, let's get the basics out of the way. It's similar to the previous games I've covered. You stuck, everyone's stuck. You have NOS, everyone has NOS. Simple really, rumble bending is still inbound, and you most likely suffer from that a lot. The problem gets worse if you're playing mod cars that are a little too OP for their tiers, like the Cappuccino I'm driving. Man, this car handles so well, very go-kartish, and I actually like it. Heck, you can go even with tier 2 cars and even tier 3 ones at times. Really, the only way to defeat a Cappuccino is they're not a Cappuccino. Oh shit, I have made a big mistake! Actually, I made two, because I also added a 69 Mustang in here. And this one's just bullshit, because despite being a tier 2 car, even fully maxed out and the gear ratio is set to prioritize top speed, it can't even reach 250 kilometers an hour. And yet, when opponents use it, they can go way over that. What is this bullshit? Made speed trap races a whole lot harder than normal, and they're usually hard. The vanilla game isn't as next to impossible at least, but by the time you reach the final borough, the difficulty gets ramped up all of a sudden. Jesus Christ, the drivers really love to get so close to you. Almost as if I'm playing against mod cars, except I'm racing against vanilla cars with a vanilla car, ah! At least the cars here are balanced, imagine if they weren't. This isn't like Most Wanted, mind you. traffic's the same vehicles as Most Wanted even, except for this SUV, brought to you by Progressive. But at least they can now throw a ray from an oncoming driver this time, like in Test Drive 6. And hey, trailers act more like pursuit breakers here now. Oh, unless you're playing the PS2 port in which traffic just stops spawning completely after starting a pursuit. Almost all the race sites from the last game are here, including toll booths, which was renamed to checkpoint, but it's still the basic gist. Pass through checkpoints to gain time while you go through a track alone. However, good riddance! So it's Lap Knockout. I hate it because it was more of a bore than bullshit. But you know what would come back for this? Drift events! Yeah! It's similar to the one in Underground 1, just you on the track, multipliers, and all that. Except it's been overhauled for the even more ridiculous. Instead of relying on points to increase the multiplier, you now have to get more speed to earn more points. The faster, the better. And then you have the multiplier. Like in Underground 2, the drift events take place in either the Palmont race course or the canyons, and they have their own ways of combos. When you are in the former, you get more by switching sides as you get to the next corner. Plus, unlike in the Underground games, you don't earn points on every part of it, only on designated chunks. The upside is that if you start your drift right as you touch the green line, you'll get a 2-time multiplier right away. Neat! Canyon drifts on the other hand are a different beast. You do get the drift on every part, like old times, but in order to get a bigger multiplier, you have to keep drifting cleanly and in fast succession. Don't let that invisible timer catch you. Worse yet, some walls can be destroyed, and you'll fall to your doom if you're not careful. Fun! However, the physics for this are completely different and even more forgiving. Well, almost. When I first played the drift events as a kid, I was not liking it. I couldn't do a good drift, even on the circuits. However, this was because I was not used to the new handling physics where you can slide a lot more easily compared to normal racing. These cars love to be drifted here, and after getting used to it, I got to love it. It's more challenging than Undergrounds, but at least you don't lose all your points when you hit a wall. That eases a lot. And then you have Canyon, which I'll get to that shortly. Oh yeah, there's cop stuff. I'm not gonna tell you how it works here because it just reuses the mechanic from Most Wanted. Hell, even its police shatter and pursuit music gets reused for this. Well, half of the latter. It's too bad they didn't take my favorite. They didn't even get to record lines for the places in the city.
A reckless driver has just been reported heading south, requesting units to head up.
Weirdly, it has no shopper support, but still has Crush showing up on Heat 5, even though he's supposed to have left the force and is now a bounty hunter. This doesn't make sense at all. But I'm going out on a limb and guess that someone at the PPD went on vacation in Rockport during my stay and thought about copying Cross's shtick, even downright buying his car after he quit the force. But yeah, it's functionally identical, but at least they show up in every circuit, sprint, and speed trap race in the city. Though if you want to know more, just watch my Most Wanted video. I don't want to bloat this review this time. Plot time. Nigga comes to my safe house and asks for a drink.
How about some options?
Okay.
But she also wonders why I haven't tried to get out of here.
I've been generating quite a bit of buzz, you know. But you're not fooling me. What I'm trying to figure out is why you haven't skipped town yet.
Am I even allowed to? Whatever, I'm only here for something more important than taking over this city. Oh no, not this fanboy!
Nikki said that you might be looking for a new wingman.
I never asked for this.
And on that note, I'll be out of here.
Wait, no, come back! I've got something to tell you! Here, Sal, an anxious scout. Please don't be salty when I say that you won't be my wingman anytime soon. But you're important for auto sculpting, so you're hired.
Okay, so I got soda and water. Where'd you go?
I'll even put up with this guy.
No, you won't. Great, now that I've taken over enough territory, I'll talk about it once I'm done with him. Time I head to the meetup to confront... Am I hearing something?
Remember me, right?
I completely forgot about your entire existence since I left. One thing you should know is that, unlike Most Wanted, the bosses are way more talkative, even during the boss races. Whatever you do, whether you're passing them, hitting them, messing up, or losing, they'll react for that little TV. It's something, but it can be annoying when you keep hitting shit and your opponent keeps doing the same laughter. At least you can turn it off. Less of 3D Angie for me, please. Now as for Kenji, he's about as unique as any other boss, in that he's not at all. Like I said before, a boss race always consists of a 2-lap circuit race and a canyon duel. And I like to ask, why is there always 2 laps for every circuit race in career mode? Even the racetrack drift events are 2 laps. Did they do that to mitigate the complaints of padding towards most wanted? I mean, it's fine, but it can make the races samey in a way. Back to Kenji, in the circuit race, he was close to me for most of the first lap, and then he's trailing back a lot. Maybe that's why I don't remember you. You suck! Now it's time to talk about the biggest feature of the game. No, I'm not gonna pull the Eurobeat trigger yet, but I will use the 8.6 for this segment. Gotta say, I love the concept and its execution. One race is done in 2 stages. What you do here is trying to get as much points as you can in the first one. The closer you are to the opponent, the more points you get. However, if you hit them, you're gonna lose points, so no bumping and grinding here. But if you can manage to pass them and stay ahead for 10 seconds, you'll get an automatic win. Quick and sort of easy, at least with certain cars. If not, and you cross the finish line, it's time to be chased. Now you have to lose as little points as you can, and the closer your opponent is, the faster they drain. So you better get as far as you can manage. Basically the opposite of the first, which means you gain 5,000 points if your opponent hits you. But don't think you can go easy on this, because like the canyon drift events, some walls can be destroyed. So you're at the risk of falling off a cliff and lose the race. Really love this one, very unique but also very challenging. And the addition of the destructible barriers makes these even more so. Let's hope your exotic can get through these in one piece. With the canyon tracks offering a variety of corners and a bunch of hairpins, these will test your cars greatly. If you want to make a cat and mouse race mode, then this is the way to go. Only downside is that this bar means nothing. It doesn't do anything special if you completely fill it, and it doesn't even indicate that you'll be having a good second stage either. It's just there to tease you. So you might think that there's 2 ways to win a canyon duel: do both stages well, or pass the opponent in the first one. However, there's also a third way to win. Can you believe it? It is really difficult, but if you can manage to force them through a destructible barrier, they'll fall to their doom, and the game automatically gives you the win. And you even get to see the boss's reactions as a treat. I can't believe that's a thing. But I never got to do it on my own, at least without cheats. It's really unfortunate that the cars here, like in Most Wanted, feel like they're built like tanks. It's impossible to push them, pit them, anything. So here's something I stole from another user. Apologies.
It's your last chance to face reality and back off.
All I did for Kenji and most canyon duels in my career was the boring old pass on the first stage. Again, this Cappy mod is OP.
No way, punk.
Would be fucked up if I killed you. Much like in Most Wanted, after defeating your boss, you get to select 2 markers. One of them could be a pink slip. Hey, where's the performance one? Oh, what's this? Someone wants to defect to my side. I don't need more actually, but don't mind if I do. Yeah, after doing that, you also get to meet a crewmate who not only will help you in your races, if you so desire, but also give you their side of the story of the night some years ago. Here's Yumi of Bushido. Or at least the remains of it. She tells me that they were caught with EMP guns on the ready, only they were just free and there were 4 cars racing. They didn't hit me for some reason. I mean, I already assumed the cops were behind the EMP attack, but why didn't they disable me as well? Whatever, you don't get to join my crew. And once that's done, you can either move on to one of the next 2 boroughs, or participate in a big race around the Conquer one, pitting you against 11 or 15 other minor crew races depending on the version you're playing for a big cash prize. And these are simply called, yeah, let's not. Ah fuck, Josh Holm is back.
You think you're making a name for yourself? Keep racing through my territory and I'll waste you and your reputation.
Why is Hurricane playing on a lower pitch in a crew intro is beyond me. Stupid radio! Carbon's career mode takes a different approach to progressing. The name of the game is Conquest, and it's a vital step in order to defeat the boss. But despite the difficulty in the races, it's actually pretty easy to learn. Just win 2 races of territory to grab that land. What? You thought there would be more? What did you expect? Gunfights? Too risky. Go play GTA San Andreas if you want that. Yeah, it's really simple to understand. Get all the territory, and the crew leader will call you to accept your challenge, which You know the deal already. Can we settle this through marriage instead, or is that not viable anymore? However, while it isn't much of a burden to take over territory, you also learn that minor crews will try to take over as well. And never the big ones apparently. Occasionally, you get alerted by messages of your tow being under attack, and you have to race there to defend it. A bit irritating, but okay after taking over a few places, but the more you conquer, the more often you show up. Oh boy. Worse yet, you only get a pitiful amount when you win, $500 by default. This is just so annoying. As annoying as that one speech cadence most video essays love, but I hate so much. You know the one. EA took a big gamble when they released Black Box's Need for Speed Underground in 2003, and it really paid off, having sold over 7 million copies across all platforms by the middle of the next year. Not only was it a commercial success, but also a critical one, at least back in the day. Y'all need acting lessons so much! I'm pretty sure if I went all the races in the city, the pop-ups would just stop existing, but still, I hate it! At least winning an event the first time gives you a lot of cash, and how to reach the 150k cross one at that time in less time than expected. What a weird oversight, but still, in this game, money isn't an issue. Unless you do said race again, ugh. But you're not conquering Palmont alone. You have your mates with you, which will help you not only actively, but also passively. Out of the total 6, they divide by 3 of their main uses: blockers, drafters, and scouts. First are the blockers, which Neville specializes in. They pick a target, and if you activate the bar, they will try pitting them off the road. Simple really, though it tends to work more than half the time. Other times they just miss and eat shit hard. And I really wish I could pick a target, especially when there's some jackass breathing down my neck in second place. Then you have drafters, and what they do is let you follow them and give you a speed boost. Though the way they do it feels like I'm in a tractor beam. Whoa! And right as you deactivate it, you'll speed away, giving you that slingshot effect. Pretty nice on paper, but since most of the track is full of hard corners, it's hard to keep up. That or hard for them to keep up. Whoops. The thing about those first two is that they're dependent on a bar. When the bar is full the first time in race, and or you're near enough to them, you can activate their major ability. Nikki said in the tutorial that it works like nitrous, but for me, they're about as situational as the speed breaker, only used when really necessary. Meanwhile, I keep overusing nitrous just for the sake of it. But scouts are a different story. They're always active, no bar to speak of, and what they all do is find shortcuts, be it hidden or not so hidden. I like that I don't have to activate it myself, but unless they have something else special, they're pointless to me. I know, too much of a game to need a scout really. Not only will they actively help you, they will also provide you additional assistance another way. Mechanics can boost your car a little at no extra cost, as well as giving you a discount on upgrades and or cars. Fabricators let you use certain autoscope parts and modify them as you please, which I'll get to that way later. And fixers can give you some extra money after winning, which is actually always a bonus really, and prevent the zone heat to increase when racing that territory one way or the other. Yeah, much like the red points in Underground 2, for a long while I didn't know exactly what these things are supposed to be. I assumed that if you get a zone with a higher number, you get hit a lot faster. Turns out, I almost got it right. It actually determines the risk of cups showing in free roam and racing. The higher the level, the higher the risk. At the very least, you can learn what they do by checking the loading screens and text messages at the hint section, brought to you by T-Mobile. I have issues though. It's a shame I can only hire up to 3 mates for my team, and worse yet, I can't have multiples of them in one race, despite me constantly seeing full drivers of one team racing. I get that this was rushed to release, but still, can't have shit in Palmont City. Ah shit, there's blood, right? Darius comes in praising the work I'm doing, while Nikki finds something suspicious about this.
Darius, what are you doing? A few more races and he's gonna have more territory than you.
Well, hey, good for him. He should be cleaning up his rep. And he's taking care of my business for me. He owes us. Both of us.
I'm being used for his own gain! And misgender behind my back! What did I expect? This is a 2006 game. It always expects the player to be a guy.
Not all races are one on the track.
Later on, Nikki wants me to drive to the scene of the crime from years back. Finally! She tells her side of the story to me of when the cops showed up and she was in a hurry to deliver me the bag. Then she got bumped by someone, herself thinking, you know, they're protecting her, it's all. It's just too bad she gave me the bag full of nut money instead and didn't know about it before it was way too late.
If what you're saying is true and the bag was switched, then I don't know how it could have happened.
Quick switcheroo? My money is on quick switcheroo.
Why didn't you ever tell me about the missing money?
Yeah, about that. I was so busy in my exile that I completely forgot about all that until a road sign immediately reminded me. Sorry for not responding in time. Anyways, we better leave. Cross is eyeballing us for some reason. Time to take out Angie. Should I drive a tier 2 car against her? Nah. Did Miss Roadkill down away here? What's that bitch doing?
You should have stayed away.
Damn, you really don't want to race me, huh? Man, she lasts like a chain smoker. The upside of her charger is that it can do well on the straights, but not so much on curves. It can still catch up to me fine. Well, try. No match for my silly Suzuki. And the Canyon race?
You're done, punk.
Were you talking to yourself there? Bitch, you look somehow worse! Here's Samson, who kinda looks like Caesar from GTA San Andreas, only bulkier, and he tells me his side of the story. When he saw me escaping from the cops through an open alleyway, he noticed that the Chrysler driver letting me go was actually a cop. Well shit, coupled with me not being hit by the EMP, that would explain the accusations of me being an undercover officer back in Rockport. I may have been a pig once, but never again. You look cool, I might hire you one day. She never did. Oh boy, here comes the guy with the best theme song in the game.
So, how long did it take you to spend all that money you took from me?
If he had white hair instead. Well, he's still keeping after parties his theme though. It's too bad I lost a lot of the Fortuna footage because while doing the effort of recording the whole thing in one go, my PC crashed right after defeating Wolf. The more I play this, the more fucked up my PC will get, huh? This is heavy. Anyway, here's the Delorean start. Not much to say about story until I conquer this borough, so let's talk about the open world. Palmont City is a nice city to explore. Like Underground 2, it consists of 4 unique boroughs to drive on, and they're all great. Maybe with the exception of Silverton, but I'll get to that. As usual, the city has a very European-inspired layout, which is a very curvy grid. Good enough to make some great racing, always a treat. No ring roads to speak of, sadly, but there is this highway that connects the boroughs, as well as a long way to Silverton, if you're into picturesque travels. But let's not go ahead of ourselves, we start our tour in downtown Palmont, home of Bushido. It's the place with the big skyscrapers, old Chinatown, and this freeway bit. It's actually my favorite of the 4. I really love the eastern part of the borough, with a big park you can drive on. Very nice looking indeed. Also, big T-Rex skeleton. It roars when you let it fall! Next is Kempton, Angie's turf. It's the industrial part, but it's a better looking than Cole Harbor. Look, there's the seaside street. Pretty nice looking too. And here's a stone train you could drive on. Still, it is an industrial area, so it isn't much of a looker, but I still like it anyway. Then we have Fortuna, TFK territory. It's a rich man's world out here, fitting for an exotic base crew. A combination college campus and suburbs. Too bad there's no big roundabout, but there are some greenery to pass through. This is probably some poor student's art thesis. It will be a shame if I let it fall towards some cops. This course looks too much like Swiss Alps from Gran Turismo. Finally, not really, we have Silverton, the Vegas knockoff. The second time this series visited that kind of setting, the first one being Las Vegas from the first NFS game. While it isn't as grim looking as Las Vegas, it's about as empty as actual Las Vegas these days. At the very least, it's more undulating with some nice scenery. Even the strip doesn't look bad, better than Cole Harbor, that's for sure. But it's still a disappointment. Worse yet, there's neither a safe house nor a car lot. I mean, even then, there isn't much need for those places, as you'll learn why. But yeah, despite the Vegas look, it's about as interesting as Fortune Valley in Payback. Which is to say, there is not that much. And then there's this, San Juan, the tutorial area. It's not connected to anywhere in the city, it's only created to show you the ropes of the game and not much else. Always is, always has been. Don't let Arles tell you it's what Palmont was gonna look like or something. As a place, it's pretty nice actually. Compact, but good enough to know the basics. Look, there's an outer arch and a maze over there. Actually a bunch of them. speaking of inaccessible areas, you have the race course used for drifting, which is pretty alright. It's way better than Bayview Speedway, and the canyon woods, which, unless you know the routes very well, they look identical to each other. Don't get me wrong, they look pretty nice. Always fancy seeing the city from up and afar, but you couldn't differentiate them well if I just show you two different routes here. However, this game has a huge problem. Free roam is next to pointless. This is because everything, including the car lot, can just be jumped to through the whole map at no extra cost. Wanna do a race? Jump to it. Wanna buy another car? Jump to it. Wanna customize your car? We have the tuner shop at home. No, for real, you can just buy upgrades and visual stuff at the comfort of your own home. No need to commute to a shop or a car lot. I may have not liked the tedious nature of free roaming to progress in Underground 2, but this is too much. And with no incentive to be in pursuit during career mode, it makes the city of Palmont look like it's just there. Asset dressing. I mean, you can still play it like Underground 2 if you like, and there's an extra game mode with another racer soft spy to challenge you. Pick a destination and race towards it. Easy grand. It's better than repeating events, that's for sure, but you won't notice that unless you really like free roaming the city. I think most want to strike a good balance of that. It is a shame Karma dropped the ball on that. It sucks, man. For the car list, it's expected for a 2006 NFS game, at least on the tuner exotic side. There's your supercars like Lambos and Porsches, as well as the McLaren SLR, but also more muscle cars, old and new at the time, like the Chargers, the Camaros, the Challengers, the Mustangs, the Monaro, and so forth. Weirdly, the Vauxhall Monaro is a regular car to buy in mod, but the Pontiac GTO is stuck in bonus car purgatory for some reason. I guess people knew having two of the same cars to buy was stupid, but why not make the GTO the one to buy? Is it because people didn't like the front? Oh yeah, can't forget. Ah, Lancer Evo 9, what a looker. Wait, hold on, could you come back a few cars? I saw a blue sedan you just passed. What? What's wrong with it? Is it the front? It's beautiful. You're a clone of me. I thought you already knew about this. Did I? Still no Honda, still no cool vibrations. But Nissan's back! As well as some odd choices like the Alfa Romeo Brera, a better choice than the fucking Punto. And speaking of Stellantis, but not quite that yet, a Chrysler 300C. Why is this marked as a muscle anyway? This glass system is fucked. I'm pretty sure these pics are based on vibes. The returning Renault Clio V6 is a mid-engine on common site, but it's marked as a tuner. If the Dodge Neo came back to carbon, would it count as a muscle or a tuner? If the Punto returned, would it be a tuner or an exotic? Can't be the latter since it's a common sight in European roads. But so was the Brera. Shit, better yet, an old European car like a Renault 8. Where does that belong? Muscle? No way, it's too European and too big to be that. Exotic? No way, it's too common folk coded. Is tuner like the dustbin for random shitboxes in the end? The collector's edition has the Jaguar XK and the beast incarnate, the Nissan 240SX. Despite being a tier 1 car, if fully upgraded, it can still defeat the tier 2 drivers with ease, minus the speed traps, but still, they're both buyable and moddable actually. You just have to do a few exclusive challenge series events to unlock them, and else is your aunt. That does not roll off the tongue. Can't forget about the bonus stuff, aka missed opportunities. What do you mean I can't buy that Corolla? That would have been perfect! I already mentioned the odd choice of putting a GTO in the bonus section, but then you have the more hardcore versions like the 911, the Murcielago, and the Mustang here, as the newer Shelby GT500, as well as a Koenigsegg and a fucking Pagani Zonda. Come on! Come the fuck on! Why y'all blue-balling me with this shite? Now you might have noticed something. Tiers? Oh yeah, we're definitely back in the 90s. The cars are not only divided by types, but also performance class, with 3 being the top tier. Unfortunately, this isn't like Pro Street afterwards, where your car can move to another depending on its upgrades. No matter what, your car stays on that tier. It will never be a top dog by the time you fight the final boss. This isn't most wanted anymore, sadly. Worse yet, there's no Jugman parts. That stings a lot. Oh, you can try beating the game with just a tier 1 car. The 240SX from the collector's edition will do it nicely, but I won't recommend it. Do as I say, not as I do. Don't you think it's a little weird that cars like the Subaru Impreza and the Plymouth Cuda are slaughtered in the same tier as supercars like the Carrera GT and the Murcielago? Like, what is this, asphalt? At least they somewhat keep up with the pack though. And at least they dare remove tuning altogether, though you don't do that in the pause menu anymore. You have to do it while you upgrade in your safe house. Quick adjustments? Go home. Literally. Customization is similar to Most Wanted, except there's no decal placement. Don't worry, you can just do that in the all-new livery editor. Fucking finally! Much like in Forza, you can now place shit on your car wherever you like, and make some unique and complex liveries. Make it in Tasha if you like. Unfortunately, it has some limitations. Actually, a lot. For one, you can't grab multiple layers, so you have to move one by one, which can get really tedious. Two, there's no simple copy-pasting, so you have to add another one and make it match the other. Three, there's only one place to start and no more than that. You better move that layer to where you want it. Slowly. Worse yet, the direction can change depending on the camera placement, and the UV for these don't always line up well. And finally, the logos can only be either black or white. But at least you can change the color of a car style livery design, that's something. But another thing added is auto sculpt. Put some bumpers, hoods, scoops, and even wheels, and modify them to however you want them through the sliders. Want to show off your intake in your muscle car? Now you can. Want to show up the top? You're allowed to do that. Do you love the look of the covered air rims? Don't modify this then. One downside is that in career mode, you have to hire both Sal and Colin to let you utilize the autoscope to the fullest. Otherwise, you're stuck with the pitiful default designs. And it's a big shame the only bumpers this game has are very few, lifted from the underground games, but I still love the concept. Glad that got used in Pro Street and Undercover, makes me wish the new entries had that again. As for unlocking stuff... fuck. Look, I'm not here to ask for instant gratification like how Pro Street kinda did that, but holy hell, the unlock conditions for even the car parts are just bullshit. It's easy to say that you can't unlock everything in this game through just career progression. Underground 1 and Most Wanted already showed us that. But this is so much worse! Now sure, most stuff can be earned in career mode, but for the rest, like say, rims and wings, you either have to do the challenge series, like I said before, be an achievement hunter by earning 4 reward cards that unlock a thing, or... oh god, level up in online multiplayer, or... buy DLC! Oh no! This is what I fear, stuff that is impossible to unlock nowadays. The official servers have been shut down 5 years ago, which was actually a pretty great run. But unless there's a fan-made revitalization of said component, which thankfully there is, the only way to get all this stuff is through the extra options mod. Not much of a biggie at least, but holy fuck, don't scare us with that shit again. Fuck! But here's something worse. This game has microtransactions. Well, had, but you can just unlock some cars by just paying for it, $1 each, as well as only unlock bundles for visual and performance parts. God! Seriously, why the fuck would you want to pay for them if the game is too short to merit such a greedy mess? Excuse me, let me rephrase that. Why the fuck would you pay for them at all? Really shit of EA to pull such a stunt like that, and they keep doing that for Pro Street and Undercover later on. At least they stopped doing that by Shift. Only for them to do that again with their time saver scrap right after that, and they went to fully commit to the microtransaction bit with Payback. What the fuck did I expect from them? This just goes to show that Electronic Arts, like any other AAA publisher, are one of the greediest motherfucking cunts that ever existed on this forsaken planet. Always is, always has been. Anyways, back to regularly scheduled bullshit. Look at this little doofus build. God, I love it. Shit, am I supposed to do something important?
You made me wait.
Sorry! Holy shit, he's very clingy, and if you take the shortcuts to increase the lead, you will catch up quickly. How the hell can he drive an understeering slab of a car so good? If I drive his car, I eat shit. But I really love every time I see Wolf pouting. Look at him, so hilarious. Managed to get this one in the bag with one try. As for the canyon duel... come on. Maybe I should call you dead weight. And look, I got the hat trick. Look at me. One more defector, a drafter guy named Colin, one less piece of the autoscope puzzle. I mean racism puzzle. During that race, when the cop showed up, he was all play it cool, play it cool. But then, oh, what's this? Someone speared Nikki and Switch the bags? I fucking knew it! That explains why I didn't get the fucking money! That does it. I'm gonna talk to Darius about all this. But first, remember how the crewmate intros usually involve them spinning around and all that? Wanna see the best intro for Colin? Cinema. Right, have to demand Darius an explanation.
The sleuth has figured everything out. You just couldn't leave good enough alone, could you? We were making bundles of cash, you were clearing your name. What more could you want?
You set me up that night, didn't you? Did you really want me gone all that time? Were you really afraid of me winning?
Things have progressed a little further now than I thought possible, and I'm gonna have to cash you out.
You great bastard, give me that bag!
Come on. I didn't let you take my money the first time. What makes you think this is any different?
We had a deal, man. I thought I was done with this piece of shit. No offense.
You actually thought that I would front you the cash to save you from this loser? Greed's always been your problem.
Look who's talking.
You've got a lot to learn about the big times, little man. This city is mine, and it's time for you to disappear again.
Oh fuck, not again. Yep, too late, Nikki. I'm definitely getting the death sentence.
Take his right to my place. Show's over.
Oh, what's this? Cross did the switcheroo this time. You clever fuck. You definitely got paid. I still hate you though. Nikki finally figured out that Darius was behind the incident about fucking time, and as part of the deal with Chris, she's gonna race with me as a crewmate. Awesome, I guess.
Think you can handle that?
Nope, never for life. I gotta be honest, I actually like the plot of it. While the one in Most Wanted is a simple one that can be summarized in one sentence, you commit such despicable crimes to get your car back. Pinkie, why the fuck are you in the Epstein files? Whoa, not that despicable! Here it's a bit more complex. It's about making amends and clear your name after an incident in the past where you got framed for stealing his cash prize, only for you to be played by a former friend for his own gain. There's betrayals, defections on your side, some proper drama, and all that good stuff. There's a mystery drama in a racing game of all things, and yet it's good enough for me to engage with it. Good enough to interject myself into the story for weird reasons. But as this is a Need for Speed game, the often maligned phrase, "it's not that deep," applies to this. And there are a few holes here and there, like how and why is Cross now bounty hunting? Why do you want to know more about that? I'm still pissed they didn't give Cross more than 6 lines here. They've disappointed me, man. What happened to you, Cross? You used to be this arrogant piece of shit cop that wanted me arrested in the previous game. But by the time Nikki set me free, you seemed chill about me being a free man? I mean, I'm not sure if you even turned good or anything, just happy that you're paid.
I'm just a bounty hunter. And I always get paid. Just make sure I do.
But still, what the hell? The fact that it's implied that he was working for Darius or whatever doesn't help. You know, considering that the game was gonna be a lot longer than this, but they had to cut much, including a good chunk of the story, due to time constraints, maybe this should have been in the oven for much longer. Either that or be its own thing, whatever works, yearly releases were a mistake! After learning about Nikki's defection, Darius hires the former crew bosses for protection, with shiny new cars, ooh. Well, since I'm not affiliated with Darius anymore, time to show off my little true colors. Let the carnage begin. Ugh, too much hype, man.
You think you know this town? You have no idea what's in store for you other than it's gonna hurt.
Wait, which part of the bar lets me unlock that? There we go. Go on, little Cappy. Teach these supercar fuckers a lesson they'll never forget. And with that, the pretzel is all mine. Hello, sweetie. Oh look, not only there are a few races where the former bosses show up as regular racers, but there are also Kenya races against said bosses as regular events. Come on out, Cappy. Man, Angie and Wolf are easy enough, especially Annie. But Kenji? This is the first time I didn't win with only one stage. Sure, I ended up winning, but man, after doing that, I think I should just shelve my Cappy from now on. This is the worst part of the game, not just because your opponents are now way more difficult, almost to Underground 1 levels, but also because way more often than not, you get notifications that your turf is getting attacked. Your territory is getting bigger, but so is their annoyance. My God, let me finish this fucking game! Finally, now to give Darius a little payback for, oh, never mind. That old trio challenges me before I get to him. Fine, I'll just kick your asses with my pretzel and Darius will be done by dinner time. Drive me. What was that? Drive me. No, I can't. This is a lot different from the last time you defeated them. You're too slow for them now. You're not good enough. Drive me. Is it because I didn't drive my Golf against Razor? As if to say, oh, you think the game's really short? Let us fix that! You're now racing against the former bosses of their former crews in a regular sprint race in a canyon and a very long one that visits all 4 boroughs. While it was easier to win these races with a tier 3 car, with this one, not so much. I had a lot of restarts in the first race simply because either Wolf or Kenji suddenly got really good. Most of the time, it was Wolf who keeps getting top billing. There was one time he was so far ahead of me. Holy shit, what was that in your canyon duel? But then I got lucky and won the race, even with Kenji hot on my tail. The next one isn't any better because it's really long, and since it's the city, I expect a lot of crap on the sidewalks. Pay close attention to the parking meters, the trash bins, and whatever that is. A magazine kiosk? In any case, they slow you down considerably, especially the trash bins. Not even a tier 3 car can survive them at full speed. The fuck do they contain? Concrete? Oh yeah, and there's traffic too. How come the canyon doesn't have that as well? But with patience, I managed to beat this little distraction. Now it's time to defeat Darius once and for all. I hope he doesn't twist a knife just before the race.
You know, I spent that money that you got framed for. I bought Nikki everything that you couldn't.
I didn't need it anyway. I'm gonna mutilate you to hell. Welcome to the most bullshit race in Carbon. Worse than any speed trap race here. And the one thing you learn about this is the car you're racing against. Darius's red and black Audi Le Mans Quattro, the concept car that went on to become the first gen R8. It may be an exotic car, so you assume it's only pretty good at top speed, but unlike any muscle, tuner, or exotic car in the game, his car is actually a jack of all trades, master of all time. Okay, not exactly, but it's really exceptionally top speed, acceleration, and even handling. Car drives like a dream compared to the rest, and it can put even tier 3 cars to shame. And that's a huge problem for me, because I'm driving this little tiny fuck. Its amazing grip is not enough to get that fucker. He's always way behind me, it's embarrassing of me. Man, I suspect I'm gonna lose a whole lot. I think I'll have to change car and do this shot all over again. I'm sorry. Never mind. That didn't work, Darius. You hit the wrong part of V, my friend. One drive. Fuck yeah. And now for the hardest part.
No one can touch me.
I know it's a cliche, and I know it was used in the very first episode of Initial D, but whatever, it deserves that because fuck this race. Now sure, I am driving a tier 1 car, which makes it way more difficult, but my Cappy made me do it and I couldn't reject her request. And even then, come up with Darius' car, this track is a hard bitch to get through, even with a tier 3 car. Unless you're driving a muscle, but let's ignore those. Let us have a tour of the course, shall we? I don't usually go well deep into analyzing courses, but for this occasion, it's a must. This is Eternity Pass. It's exactly 5 kilometers long, but despite being one of the second longest, it felt quick due to its long straights. As is customary for a canyon route, it has a lot of hairpins. This is fine, but you should pay more attention to the few glaring bits. When you go through the right hairpin after this straight with a jump, you enter a tunnel with a left-hander that gets narrower as you drive. You'll most likely hit the outer wall when you're attacking it, so it's safe to slow down a bit until you're past that. However, that's just an easy one. After this movement that you can take at speed, then comes this slow chicane, a sudden slowdown. This may be an arcade style game, but the best way to take it is to go out, in, out, in, out. It takes a lot to get used to tackling it without losing too much speed or hitting the walls, but it's good practice nonetheless. After that, everything goes smoothly with a series of corners that you can take at speed. Try not to hit this sign though, always important. And then comes this corner. This is the hardest part, due to the destructive barrier. This will end most runs because of its difficulty, and it's certainly dead for me. If you go too wide, you will crash into a wall, if not fall to your death, whichever comes first. Not even the go-kart handling of the Cappuccino can handle such a mess at speed. Now the point of canyon duels is to keep your speed and momentum to not let your score go to 0 when being chased. But the only way to tackle it is to slow down a bit considerably. Has to be this way. And unfortunately, Darius' car is just too good. It will take a lot to get enough points where you're chasing him for the second stage, and most of the time during that, I either crash or run out of points. Now sure, my Cappy is at an advantage with her nimble handling, but even then, it's still no 240SX. I kept contemplating just doing the final races again, but with my pretzel instead. But my Cappy kept refusing. Do not trust only your gut. You and I can do it. I'm not sure, lady. Those last few races were a fluke. I doubt I can win this with you. Doubt will only get you so far. You know what they say. Lock in. I can't believe you just said that to me. Holy shit! This is the one, people! Don't fuck this up! It's not worth it. The ending isn't very exciting. It just boils down to this. Keep my car, but you sure know that someone, anyone better, will beat you in the near future, so...
Enjoy it while it lasts.
Okay, thanks, bye. So that's it. After 5 years for my comeback, so long, good luck?
I don't recall saying good luck.
That felt really anticlimactic, and I can't get my money back. Yeah, more on the development of the game. Originally, there was gonna be an extra race where Nikki challenges you at the canyons, but much like a lot of shit, it got cut. So I have this screen instead. Man, I fear raw. What else can I do? Redo career with a different starter, do all the challenge series. Some of them require another online player to help me do it, and I'm not in the mood to install NFS Co at the moment. That was Need for Speed Carbon. Putting aside the mods, even if it's lackluster in some parts, and the link is very short, it's actually a lot better than what I said in the old review. The gameplay is still fun as heck, the crew system is pretty simple yet intuitive, customization is better with the addition of the library editor and autoscoped. The story, while sort of a hatchet job due to short development time, is interesting enough for me to engage in it, and the canyon races offer a unique challenge that I love. Probably the best Initial D game that isn't called Initial D. Sorry, Kaido Battle. It has issues, of course. Defensive races are annoying, the difficulty gets ramped up by the end, as if it wasn't before, well, with the rubber banding. Pursuits may be great, but it just leaves me for most fun anyway, and even then, they're not as important. The open world is barely there, the boss freezes are rather samey, and less said about Angie's face, the better. but at least the modding community is alive and kicking. Like before, you can put custom cards without replacing them, as you can see, as well as some other stuff like a day and night cycle mod. This looks weird during the day. Plus some mega mods that try to fix the game spacing or whatever. But on its own, even if I wish for more by the end, I still like it a lot. By comparison to the rest of this era, not as much as Most Wanted, but it's in my top 3. Now cope and see at the side of this. As for the handheld versions known as Own the City, you know what? I need some respite after all this because that game, especially the PSP version, needs its own video. And oh boy, does it need it. After all, I'm not gonna do my summer break much earlier than planned, starting right now. Thanks for coming by, you two. After Lauren, you greatly helped me with this video. So that was the Black Box redo. What did I learn after all this time? Never meet your childhood heroes, never do cocaine, never trust a friendly hot chick, and certainly never play with mods while reviewing them. Biggest mistakes of my life. I originally wanted to make this a 2-month special, but due to suffering yet another bout of the common cold, I had to change it to a 3-month thing. After all, despite me being a shape-shifting fox, I'm still a human being inside. But I hope you enjoyed the trip with me, even if I didn't really review the games at their purest forms. Oh well, fuck you purists.